Hello all, welcome to Tech Talks. So today we are going to discuss about what is inheritance in Java. So as we have discussed in our previous sessions, there are these very important OOP concepts that are to be carried out throughout any Java development that we do, be it core Java, advanced or JTE. So these are the basic fundamentals that one should be very strong at. And hence we are going in detail with each of these topics. So today we would like to start with what inheritance in Java is. So inheritance in Java is a mechanism in which one object acquires all the properties and behaviors of a parent object. So we all know, right? We define a Java class as an object. So this inheritance mechanism is nothing but establishing a relationship between one class to another, wherein the child class or the subclass that inherits the parent class gets all the features that are there in the parent class. Everything, all the properties, the data members, the data methods, everything, it inherits it inherits all the data members and functions that are there in the parent class. So why is this idea of inheritance has come into picture? It is because when we write code, or people who have experience in writing code, they know that there are certain functionalities, or there are certain scenarios or situations wherein we have to rewrite the same code that we already wrote, in a particular class. So this inheritance, the concept of inheritance lets us reduce the lines of code or re-repeating of the code, and it lets us shorten the length of the code that we write. Also, that the new classes can be built upon the existing classes, making use of all the features that the existing classes have. Let's assume there is a database connection class. So when there is already a class that is doing all the database connectivity inside in it, we need not go and write the database connectivity steps for each and every class that we are writing in our Java application, wherein connect to the database, bring the driver manager, fetch the connection from the driver manager, and then prepare a statement using this connection. All this is written in a class assume database.java. So any class, like for suppose we have a student class wherein we have to fetch data from student table, select star from student. So this student table can go, this student class can go and just simply inherit the database class, or get the instance of that particular class, and just directly uh, derive the connection using that class and start writing their own code. So this is the idea behind bringing the concept of inheritance. So when you inherit it from an existing class, you can reuse the methods. That is what we have been discussing. So this inheritance represents the easy relationship between two entities, or two objects, or two classes defined as entity or object or class. So what is this easy relationship? Like for suppose, let's say we have a circle, rectangle, and square. All these are what? They are shapes, right? So now I can say that rectangle is a shape, square is a shape, triangle is a shape. So if shape can be the parent class of all these three child classes, and there is this is a relationship being established between these two classes, this is what inheritance represents. So moving on, why do we need inheritance? Why? So when we talk about why do we need inheritance, as I just said, the example of a database connection, it is clearly showing you how the code reusability can be done. So the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about inheritance is the code reusability. And the second thing that comes to our mind is to achieve runtime polymorphism. We all know, right? Polymorphism can be achieved in two ways. One is the overloading and the overriding. Overloading is tend to be said as a compile time polymorphism, and the overriding is called as the runtime polymorphism. So here inheritance, using inheritance, we can achieve runtime polymorphism. That is the method overriding. So when it comes to inheritance, what are the few things or keywords that we need to know? So let's just make it very quick. So always keep in mind throughout this session that we will be using these keywords to understand things better. Parent class or superclass. So this class provides the code that can be inherited by another class. So I will again take the same database example. So I have a database.java class that's giving you a connection, a database connection. Just that, my code is trying to inherit the database.java connection class. Database.java becomes a parent class, and my student.java, which is trying to inherit all the code from the database.java class, is set to be as a child class. Now you can see we have already discussed what it is. Now child class or subclass. Now in my example, student.java will be the subclass. So how do we, so whatever we spoke till now is conceptual, but how do we let the Java code know that there is this inheritance is a relationship between two classes? So that happens with the extends keyword. The extends keyword in Java says that there is a relationship. That means that class B, child class, is extending class A, which is the parent class, and building is a relationship between both of them, which means that the child class, class B, is extending class A, and now class B has all the features or all the data members or all the methods that class A, which is referred to as a parent class, has. So this is the main keyword in Java code that technically talks about the inheritance between two different classes. So let's go ahead and see the basic syntax of what inheritance is. So this is nothing but how we use the extends keyword. So I have my parent class as class parent. Then I have my child class as parent again. So now my child class extends the parent class. My child class extends parent class. So this is the basic syntax. Now my child class gets all the functionality or all the data members, methods, all the features that the parent class has now. So this goes with the basic syntax. Now, uh, so now we all know about access modifiers. So we have these four different kind of access modifiers in Java: public, protected, default, and private. So for any method or any class wherein we haven't declared anything, let's take this as the example. I haven't declared this class to be public or private or protected or anything. So in this case, Java considers the class parent to be the access modifier default. Default will be the access modifier. So if you look at this, this gives you the clear picture of the access modifiers and inheritance. How is this interlinked? So when the access modifier of the class is public, this class can be extended within the class, also within the package, within the same package. When the class has the access modifier public, it can also be extended outside the package by subclass. It means that my student class is in a different package and my database class is in a different package. So since the database class access modifier is public, my student class being in a different package can still access the database class, which is in a different package. But outside package, no, not outside package. Now, what is the difference here? So by subclass, what do we know about subclass? It is extending, right? It is extending. But here you have to look at this. The extends keyword plays the role here. Class student extends class database. Though they are in two different packages, this is trying to extends keyword. There is this extends keyword, and hence though it is outside the package, it is letting you use. But normally when a class is public and they are two different classes in two different packages, you cannot access it. So that is the different. So here it's with the extends keyword that the base class is using and inheriting the parent class. The child class is inheriting the parent class, but this is talking about two different classes and two different packages without any inheritance in between them. So it's the same thing with protected. In class, yes. In package, yes. Outside package by subclass, again the extends keyword, yes. And outside package without the extends keyword, no. Default. Default is what? When a class doesn't have any specified access modifier, the Java considers it to be a default access modifier. So it says yes for in class, in package, yes, but even for extends, it won't allow because the access modifier of the parent class is default, and outside package, it is as well no. For private, it only allows you to access within the class and not even within the package. Extends doesn't work, outside the package also doesn't work. Now, what are the different types of inheritance in Java? Normally, inheritance, we have single, we have multi-level, we have multiple, we have hierarchical, and we have hybrid. But the multiple inheritance isn't supported by Java, and hence we have these four scenarios of inheritance in Java being supported. So now, let's go with the single inheritance. So what is single inheritance? We have only one parent class and one child class, and the child class is trying to inherit the parent class. So here, my child class extends the parent and inherits everything from the parent. Apart from whatever it has inherited from the parent, it can write its own implementation in its class. But everything that is there in the parent class is being extended by the child class. So let us go and do a demo of whatever we have been discussing. So I will take this as one of my, well, so I will take this as a package here, and then right. So here I am creating a class. Single parent inheritance, finish. Then I will also have a child, single child inheritance. Right. So now, if we look at this, we have two different classes. Uh, right. So here, I will go ahead and write some method void print. This is single inheritance demo. You are in the parent class, right? So I have my parent class here, and in my, sorry, this is the child class, right? So let me keep this here, right? So here, now what I'm doing is I am trying to extend. So create inheritance between these two classes, right? Now I will have my main method, and I will create an object of this class. dot. So guys, if you look at, I haven't written any kind of methods in the child class, right? But still, I will be able to call uh, the method that we have declared in the parent class. What was that? It was print. If you can look at here, we have a print option, right? We still have a print method. So normally I don't have a print method here in this class, but how am I able to get it? It is because I have extended the parent class and this class has that particular method. Now let me run this and show it to you. This is single inheritance demo. You are in the parent class. Now what happens when I remove this extends keyword from the code? What does it say? Create method. The method is undefined for the type single child inheritance. So it is because we have extended this child class with this parent class, we were able to get the methods inside in the parent class. Now let me remove public as the access modifier for this class, right? Now I can still access, right? Now yeah, so I can still go and access this. In my child class, I can implement my own methods as well. So here I can single child inheritance dot print. So I have the other method that I declared in my child class as well. So we have two methods now, one that has been inherited from the parent and the other that has been inherited from the child, right? So now uh, this is with the single inheritance. Now let's go back to our discussion and see the next type of inheritance, which is multi-level, right? So what is multi-level? Here in this scenario, there are three classes A, B, and C. Now here class A is the parent class for class B and class B is the parent class for class C. In this scenario, class B inherits all the features that are there in class A and class C inherits all the features that are there in class A as well as class B. So class C is considered to be the subchild, class B is subparent and class A is parent. So let's go and look at the demo for this. Right. So now this becomes our super parent. Inside in this, I go and write a method that prints hello, this is super parent class, right? Now our class B or the parent class in this multi-level hierarchy extends multi-level super parent, right? So now here I will go and write void print parent. Hello all, this is parent class. Now our child class goes in and extends multi-level parent. This is the super parent. Okay. Parent class. This was supposed to be part of the super parent class. Now in the child class, I will create another method that says this is child class. Now I will have my main method in the same class, right? And here I will create the object of this particular class. Dot. Now if you look at, I will have all the three methods starting from the super parent class. Print dot print dot print child. So let me execute this. Look at this. This is the child class of all the three classes that we have trying to implement the multi-level inheritance. Now, if you look at, I can access all the methods starting from the super parent class in my child class. It's because the child class has extended the parent class, and in turn the parent class has extended the super parent class. So the child class gets all the properties that are there in both the super parent and the parent class. So moving forward, we will go with the hierarchical inheritance. So in this case, we will have one parent class and there are two child classes that are trying to extend the single parent class. So as I said, the example before, database connection.java is the parent class, let's assume. So there is two different requirements wherein we have student.java and employee.java, and we have to retrieve the student data in one class and the employee data in another class. But the common thing between both of these classes is that they need a database connection to connect to the database and do a select query on the database for the respective tables. So even student.java extends the database connection.java, and the employee.java extends the database connection.java. They both fetch two different connections and do their own functionalities, but they are but they are extending or inheriting the same parent class. So this is pretty clear, right? We will move on to the next one, which is hybrid inheritance. Now, hybrid inheritance is said to be a combination of hierarchical inheritance and single inheritance. As we have already discussed, guys, there is no multiple inheritance concept in Java, that a single class cannot extend two different classes at the same time. Multiple inheritance is nothing but class cannot extend, a child class cannot extend two different parent classes at the same time. So here the hybrid inheritance is said to be a combination of hierarchical inheritance along with single inheritance. So now there are these two different classes, class B and class C, that are extending class A. Now there is another class D which can extend either class C or class B, right? So depending upon the requirement, this class D can either extend class C or class B. So whomsoever it extends, it's going to inherit the properties of class A. So this is the requirement. So let's assume, or let's take the same example as the database connection.java and student and employee.java. So now this is the db.java. Now this is the student.java and this is the employee.java. Now there is a new requirement that I have to fetch the student marks depending upon the student data. And there is two different tables. One is the student table and the other one is the student marks table. But the primary key the foreign key relation between these two tables is the ID of the student. Now the ID in the students table is the primary key, and the same ID is referred to as the foreign key in the students mark table. So in this case, I would implement the hybrid inheritance using, now my students.java extends db.java, but my student marks.java extends the students.java, because the requirement here is that I need to fetch the student marks. If there is another requirement wherein I have to fetch the employee salaries, wherein employee ID is the primary key in employee table, which is referred in the employee.java, and now my requirement employee salary is in a different table, wherein the foreign key is the employee ID again. In that case, my child class, my class D extends class C, which is the employee.java. So this is purely scenario based, but yes, whenever required, we can have this hybrid inheritance in place, depending upon the requirement, depending upon what existing classes are and which class can I extend to fulfill my requirements. So these are the 4 different types of inheritance in Java. Now, moving on, there is this super keyword, and what is the connection between inheritance concept and the super keyword? Now, this super keyword is used to refer to the immediate parent class of the object. Let's assume that there is a hierarchy, a multi-level inheritance between class A, class B, and class C. So who will be the immediate parent class of class C here? The immediate parent class of the class C would be class B. And for class B, the immediate parent class would be class A. So now the super keyword lets you to refer to the immediate parent class of the object, the current object. I'm in class C, so it will let me refer to the class B. It will let me refer to the class B. I'll tell you how this is being useful in a demo, in a short demo. Now, super calls the parent class constructor with no argument. We all know, right? Whenever a Java class file is compiled, even though we don't mention, there is a constructor with the same class name being created at the backend. The compiler creates that. So there is always a constructor with the same name as of the class name. Now, whenever we call this super keyword in our child class, it refers to the immediate parent class, right? So it calls the constructor that has no arguments. We all know that there are also concepts of parameterized constructor, that we can send some parameters to the constructor. So leaving that behind, when we call this super method in our child class, it is referring to the immediate parent class, and it calls the constructor in the parent class that has no arguments. But when we have super dot method name, here comes the parameterized constructors. Let's suppose we have constructors with some A, B, C as their parameters. We call that respective method in the parent class. I mean, when we are doing super dot that method name, it calls that particular method from the parent class. Now, it is also used to call the variables in the parent class. Now, guys, this is very useful when you want to print the original values, right? Because using inheritance, we can also implement overriding. Let's say in my class A, I have a method called print, but I am extending class A, and in my own class, I am again writing a method called print with my own implementation inside in that. It overrides all the functionality or all the implementation in the parent class. So overriding is being done here, right? So this super keyword plays a very major role in this particular scenarios where we have the when we want to have the overriding concept. Now let's assume. Now let's take a class super demo parent. Okay, I'm doing a finish. Then I will also have super demo child. Now the super demo child extends super demo parent. Okay, right. In the super demo parent, I will have right. Now what is this? Super demo parent is nothing but the constructor, right? The default constructor. Now I can also have a constructor that accepts parameters, which are called as parameterized constructors. I will have my parameter as some string str. Okay, right. So inside in this, I will write as default constructor. Okay. Now I will also write as parameterized constructor, and I will append the string param here, right? Okay. Now in my child class, now remember guys, super should always be the first super should always be the keyword that is first called in the class constructor. So I will need to have my constructor here. Okay. So here I am doing a super. Right. I am doing a super here. Now I can also do a super with now. Why does this give an error? Because constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor, right? I am referring to the constructor of the immediate parent object, right? But I'm already having a super here, which is the first instruction in the constructor of this class. And I am again trying to do a super, which it doesn't allow. Now, in my main method, I can simply create the object. And now I don't have to do anything because I'm doing a super on this. Now, what did I do? In my constructor, I called super. So it refers to the immediate parent class. So here in the super constructor, when I do a super, what does it do? It calls the constructor with no arguments. And hence this has been printed, right? But when I go and remove this, and do this, what does it do? It goes to the parameterized constructor in the parent class, in the immediate parent object. Now, if you look at, we also spoke about calling the variables in the parent class. Now, I have this parent here. Okay. Let's say int a equal to 20, 30. In my child class, I am doing int a equal to 40. Now, basically what happens? Since my child class is extending the super demo parent, which is a parent class, it will simply print the value of a as 40 if we try to print. If we try to print. Why? Though it has extended, it's the same variable that is there in the parent, and here the overriding happens. The new value is assigned to this. But what if we want to get the same value, though we are using the same variable in the parent class, but we want in the child class, but we want to get the same value as of parent? I can do a super dot a. And here you can see the difference. It gives you 30 and it gives you 40. So here it's trying to access your immediate parent object and get the value from there, even though the a equal to is 40, because it is still accessing your parent object. It is not doing the, here it prints a equal to 40 because it has overridden. There is no point of super here. And that's the difference of why do we want super in different scenarios. So that's with the super keyword and how it's being related to inheritance. You understand right now, guys? Now this is just a simple inheritance example that I have given. But if you go ahead with multi-level inheritance, you can see that how this super keyword plays a very important role in accessing your immediate parent objects, data, and stuff. So this is with the super keyword and inheritance. And the last one that I would like to discuss about with this topic is the final keyword. We all know, right? Something that is defined with final keyword in Java is said to be fixed. It cannot be modified further. So this final keyword can be appended to or prefixed to a variable, a method, or a class. So now if a final variable is a constant, we cannot change it. We cannot change it at all. Now, in the same example I am going to show you, I will say final int a equal to 30. Now what happens? My child class is extending this, right? Extending the demo parent. But here, when I try doing this, now let me run this. Right? So here, okay. Yeah. So here what happens? I have declared my variable as uh, int a equal to 30, right? And what is the type of variable this is? It is final. So what happens when this is declared as final? It will not allow you to modify. It will not allow you to modify the data, right? So now here in this, I have extended my child class to this. Now, okay, 1 second, right? Void, sorry. Here, let me try and write void print. Okay. Now that I have extended it, I will get all that is there inside in the parent class. Now what I'll do is a equal to 50. I'll do. Okay. So what does it say here? The final field super demo parent dot a cannot be assigned. You can use it, but you cannot modify the value of the variable because it is being declared as final. Now, though you are inheriting a class, you are able to inherit a class, you will still not be able to modify the variables or the methods that are there as final in the parent class. Now, let me show you an example of a final method. Final void print. Okay. Now, sys here, what am I say? What am I trying to do? I'm trying to call the print method, or I'm just trying to overwrite it, right? Because I'm trying to change the implementation. It will not allow me to do. But you can still call the print method as part of your child class. Dot print. You can still do, but you cannot override. You cannot change. You cannot change the implementation of the method. So since the final keyword is available, or the final keyword can be prefixed to a variable, a method, or a class, though you are inheriting, you can just make use of those methods or variables or classes as it is, but you cannot override the values or override the method or override the value of a particular variable when it is declared as final. But when a class itself is declared as final, when a class itself is declared as final, you cannot extend it. The type cannot subclass the final class, remove final modifier. It says that you cannot extend a class that is declared as final. So this is with the inheritance concept, guys. Do let me know if there are any questions that you have in the comment section. I'm free to help. I'm free to answer, and I'm free to learn along with you all. Thank you very much.